Hello, welcome to Operation Research class. So today I am going to explain unbalanced transport problems. So what is an unbalanced transport problem? In a transport problem, the sum of all the available quantities, if it is not equal to the sum of all the requirement, then such problems are called unbalanced transport problems. Now, let me explain this with the example or with the problem. A steel company has 3 open hearth furnaces and 5 rolling mills. Transport costs for shipping steel from furnaces to rolling mills are shown in the following table. What is the optimal shipping schedule? Here we have 3 furnaces and 5 mills. Now, capacities of all the furnaces as well as the demand requirement of all the mills are given. So, if you find out the total of the capacities, it is 34. Similarly, if you find the total of the requirements, that is nothing but 30. That is 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8, that will be equal to 30. If you see here, the requirement is not equal to the capacity. The capacity is 4 more than the requirement. So, how we can solve this? So, for solving this, we need to have a dummy column, or that is column represents the mill. So, we need to have a dummy mill. The requirement of that will be 4. That should balance here, since 4 capacity, the difference between capacity and requirement is 4. So, the 4 units has to be added here. Now, if you find the total of the demand and supply, it is equal. And when you are writing the dummy row or column, you need to see that the unit cost in that particular row or column should be 0. Since here I have added one column, dummy column, the unit cost in each cell of that particular dummy column will be 0. Now this is only to get the solution, basic feasible solution. When you are getting the basic feasible solution, first thing is it should be balanced. Next we will go for the basic feasible solution. There are 3 methods of finding the basic feasible solution. Now here I have solved this problem using the Vogel's method. Now I have explained this Vogel's method in the last videos. So here first what you have to do is you need to find out the penalties in each row and column. Penalty is nothing but the difference between the 2 successive minimum values. In the first row if I see 0 and 2, the difference is 2. In the second row it is 1 and 0, it is 1. In the third row it is 3 and 0, 3. Similarly, in the first column 5 minus 4 is 1. Second column 2 minus 4 is 2. Then third column 3 minus 4 is 1. Fourth column 4 minus 4 is 0. In fifth column 3 minus 1 is 2 and it is 0. So in that you need to see the maximum penalty, and with the row or column which have the maximum penalty, that has to be considered for allocation. Now I can consider the third row. So while considering the third row, again in that you would see the minimum least cost. So this is 0 is a minimum transportation cost for unit commodity. So here I can allot the minimum of demand or supply. So that means I can allot only 4. So that means this column will be neglected for the further allocations. So here 4 already allotted, so 10 is remaining. So like that, each time you need to find out the penalty, and in that highest penalty row or column has to be considered, and in that particular row or column which the minimum unit cost has to be considered, there we need to allot the units. So this is how we can complete the basic feasible solution by using the Vogel's method. Now after completing this, I got the transportation cost as 2 into 4 plus 2 into 4 plus 2 into 4 plus 1 into 8 plus 6 into 4 plus 4 into 6 plus 0 into 4. That means my total cost will be 80 rupees. Now for going for the optimality test, the second step is you need to check for the degeneracy. Degeneracy is nothing but m plus n minus 1 should be equal to number of allocations. Here if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 allocations. 7 allocations, but 6 plus 3, here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns and 3 rows. That means m plus n minus 1 is 8. So that is not equal to the number of allocations. My number of allocations is 7. So that means degeneracy exists in the basic feasible solution. If there is a degeneracy, how we can solve this? So it should not have the degeneracy. So that is why I need to allot delta to a cell which is independent. It should not form any loop That means if I see here in this minimum cost is unallotted cells. So if I see the unallotted 0, 0, 3, 7, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5. So in that minimum is 0. If I see this 0, if I see this way, so here I can form a loop wherein here this is a unallotted, the other 3 corners are allotted. That means it is not independent. Similarly, if I see this 0, so like this way and this way, from here, this way and this, like this way if I come, it will form the loop. That means it is also closed. So I can't consider this. So I can, if I go for the next minimum 4, if I see in any direction, if I see, it will not form a loop. That means all the corners should be allotted. Only one corner should not be allotted. So this will not form a loop. So that is why allocate delta units to a cell which is independent. Now here I have allotted with delta. Now my allocations are 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So that means it is equal to m plus n minus 1. So I can proceed with the next step. So in the next step what I have to do is I need to allocate u1, u2, u3, v1, v2, v3, v4, v5, v6 for each row. You need to assign the values of u1, u2, u3 as well as v1, v2, v3 for all the rows and columns. Then only for the allocated cells, you need to find out Cij is equal to ui plus vj. That is u1 plus v1 is equal to 4, u1 plus v2 is equal to 2, u1 plus v4 is equal to 2, u2 plus v4 is equal to 2, u2 plus v5 is equal to 1, u3 plus v1 is equal to 6, u3 plus v3 is equal to 4, u3 plus v6 is equal to 0. So then you need to see the column or row which is having the maximum number of allocations. Now if I see here, my first row is having 3 allocations. All the other rows and columns having less than 3. That means I can assign the value of u1 as 0. Once if I allot the value of u1 as 0, using these formula, using these expressions, I can find all the values of u2, v3, v1, v2, v3, v4, v5, v6. That means if you substitute u1 as 0 here, you will get the value of v1. So similarly, you can find all the values. Once if you get all the values of that, just note down the values of u1, u2, u3, v1, v2, v3, v4, v5, v6 here. After that, you see only the unallocated cells. If you see the unallocated cells, here this, so only this, that is C13, C15, C16. So like that, you need to consider all the unallocated cells. For these unallocated cells, you need to find out Cij minus ui plus vj. Cij value of this particular cell is 3 minus u1 is 0 plus v is 2. So add this and find out the value of Cij minus ui plus vj. So for all the unallocated cells. Now here if you see all the Cij minus ui plus vj values, all are greater than 0. There is no negative value. That means you got the optimal solution. But if you see this cell, it is having the value as 0 for Cij minus ui plus vj. That means you have an alternate solution for the same problem. How to find out the alternate solution? As I explained in the last video, for getting the alternate solution, so this cell is having Cij minus ui plus vj value as 0. So that means you can allot something over here. To allot something over here, again you need to create the loop in such a way that it should be a closed one. That means I can move like this way. All the corners except this has to be allotted. That means this way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means all the corners, if you see this loop, all the corners except this are having some allocations. So form a loop in such a way that only this cell has no allocations. So here the loop is formed. Then allot plus theta over here. When you are allotting plus theta, here it is minus, and here it is plus, and here it is minus, plus, and here it is minus. So like that, so allot theta to all the corners of the loop. Once you allot the corners of the loop, now in that you see which is a minimum value for theta minus. Here theta minus 8, theta minus 4, theta minus 4. That means I will take the least value of theta, that minimum value, that is theta is equal to 4. Now I will be allotting this. So 4 will be allotted over here, plus 4, here minus 4, plus 4, minus 4, plus 4 and minus 4. So if you allot 4 according to this law, so you are getting the new allotment like this. So this is a new allocation of the commodities. Now if you see the total transportation cost, that is 4 into 4 plus 2 into 4 plus 2 into 8 plus 1 into 4 plus 4 into 6 plus 3 into 4 plus 0 into 4. So that is again equal to 80. That will not change the total transportation cost. This is the alternate solution for the given problem. So this is how we can solve whenever there is a degeneracy and whenever there is a unbalanced problem which is given in the transportation problems.